Now we begin the second phase of our chapter. It is about the division of cerebrum into lobes and more details on the sulci and gyri within. So, you know about these four: the frontal lobe, parietal lobe, occipital lobe, and temporal lobe. You must be questioning yourself how this division between this continuous area of parietal, occipital, and temporal lobe is achieved. That will be explained in the further slides. Apart from that, you will be introduced to two more regions, being the insular and the limbic lobe. सो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल द फ्रंटल लोब, ये जो आपको दिखाई दे रहा है सेंट्रल सल्कस हमने सबसे पहले किया था, यहाँ से लेके आगे फ्रंटल पोल तक जितना भी एरिया यहाँ आपको लेटरल सल्कस के ऊपर दिखाई दे रहा है, ऑल दिस इज फ्रंटल लोब. The frontal lobe is the rostral region of the hemisphere anterior to the central sulcus and above the lateral fissure. The precentral gyrus, this is the precentral gyrus. It runs parallel to the central sulcus, you know that, on the superior lateral surface, and it also extends onto the medial surface. ये पीछे के medially भी turn करता है, वहाँ भी ये present है. There is no division between its superior lateral and the medial side, so you must know that. And it extends onto the medial surface and is limited anteriorly by the precentral sulcus. यहाँ पर precentral sulcus होगा. The area of the frontal lobe anterior to the precentral sulcus is divided into superior, middle and inferior frontal gyri. यहाँ पर आपको मिलेंगे दो सल्कस, सुपीरियर फ्रंटल सल्कस और इंफीरियर फ्रंटल सल्कस, और उनके बीच का एरिया डेफिनेटली तीन भागों में डिवाइड किया गया है. द मीडियल सरफेस एक्सटेंड्स फ्रॉम द फ्रंटल पोल, यहाँ पर जो आपको दिखाई दे रहा है, टू द पैरासेंट्रल लोब्यूल. ये आपका सेंट्रल सल्कस है, इसके आसपास का ये एरिया जो एक ऑलमोस्ट यू शेप्ड में प्रेजेंट है, इसे कहा जाता है पैरासेंट्रल लोब्यूल, जो कि आपको पता है दिस ब्रांच ऑफ द सिंगुलर सर्कस के पीछे है, पोस्टीरियर टू इट है, और सेंट्रल सर्कस के आसपास का एरिया है. आई हैव एक्सप्लेन दिस वन टू यू बिफोर. सो दिस इज पैरासेंट्रल लोब्यूल. पैरासेंट्रल लोब्यूल जितना इसमें एरिया सेंट्रल सर्कस से एंटीरियर है, दैट पार्ट इज इंक्लूडेड इनटू द फ्रंटल लोब, द रेस्ट ऑफ इट गोज इनटू द पैराइटल लोब. In front of that, you have superior frontal gyrus, which is nothing but the medial side of the superior frontal gyrus on the medial surface is present, and it is called as the medial frontal gyrus in certain books. So you should not confuse the two. It is the same gyrus, just referred by different names. So along with that, anterior half of the cingulate gyrus, all this is included onto the medial side of the frontal lobe. The foremost part is called as the frontal pole. It is in front of these two gyri and the ventral surface of the frontal lobe, and it contains the part of the orbitofrontal cortex as well. So this frontal lobe is a composite area. So you know about these two now. This is the frontal pole, medial orbitofrontal gyrus, superior frontal gyrus, and anterior part of the cingulate gyrus. Cingulate gyrus is subdivided into various parts, so this will be considered later. You should remember this from the discussion of the orbital surface before. You remember the orbital sulcus and the olfactory sulcus and the H-shaped orbital sulcus, dividing this whole area into medial, posterior, anterior and lateral orbital gyrus, and the gyrus rectus, the straight gyrus, which is on the medial side. I want to emphasize on this one that the gyrus rectus is not only seen on the inferior side only, it also extends onto the medial surface, and you will be able to see that gyrus rectus continues upwards as the superior frontal gyrus. So visually they form a continuous structure. Now coming to the discussion of frontal pole. Your next class is about the functional areas of the brain. Therein they will discuss it in much detail. Frontal pole is not anatomically a distinct region separated by sulci per se, but yes, functionally it is a distinct region. So this whole area of the frontopolar cortex has very special functional significance, which will be discussed in the lecture, and it is continuous with the anterior margin of the lateral, medial and inferior surfaces of the frontal lobe. So all these gyri extending further sort of merge with each other and create this composite area. This area is supposed to, this area is called as the prefrontal cortex, and I have told you the difference between something being called as a cortex versus being called as a gyrus. So, this whole area is called as the prefrontal cortex. It is frontal association area, and this will be explained to you in the class later. And before we move ahead, let's just see this inferior frontal gyrus once again. We have discussed it before. You know how the inferior frontal gyrus is divided into parts due to the presence of ascending ramus and the anterior ramus from the initial part of the lateral sulcus. You know about that, and this area being associated with the auditory area on the left side. You know about this one. So, this is just for your revision. So, you can identify the central sulcus shown to you by the dotted line. This is where it ends, and this is the Sylvian fissure extending upwards, and this is the Sylvian fissure extending upwards, and here you can see the parts of the inferior frontal gyrus. You can see this is the superior frontal sulcus and the inferior frontal sulcus, and the three gyri separated by that. And this is again the view of the medial side. Next we come to the parietal lobe. The frontal lobe is pretty straightforward to understand. Now in discussion of the parietal lobes, things start getting a bit more complex. So the anterior limit of the parietal lobe is the central sulcus. जैसे कि मैंने आपको पहले बताया था, central sulcus के posteriorly parietal lobe का area शुरू हो जाता है. But what is its inferior boundary and its posterior boundary? Let's just see this. ये आपको दिख रहा है central sulcus. This is the anterior boundary, but the posterior boundary and the inferior boundaries are derived by separating these areas via imaginary lines. Now, how do you create those imaginary lines? ये first imaginary line जो इसकी posterior border को define करेगी starts from इंडेंटेशन कॉज्ड बाय पेराइटो-ऑक्सीपिटल सल्कस. आपको अगर याद होगा तो मीडियल साइड पे ये पेराइटो-ऑक्सीपिटल सल्कस है, बहुत वेल डिफाइंड सल्कस है. इसकी जो स्लाइट इंडेंटेशन का पॉइंट है, हम इसकी बात कर रहे हैं. सो उस इंडेंटेशन से लेकर प्री ऑक्सीपिटल नॉच नाम की दूसरी इंडेंटेशन तक आपको एक लाइन इमेजिन करनी होगी, और दूसरी लाइन है सिल्वियन फिशर की एक्सटेंशन दैट मीट्स दिस लाइन. You always have to remember that these are two imaginary lines. Starting from the parieto-occipital sulcus to pre-occipital notch, this is pre-occipital, before the occipital end. And the second line, the extension of the Sylvian fissure. These are the boundaries on the anterior side. And on the medial surface, this area extends from, this is the indentation caused by the central sulcus, यहाँ से posteriorly parieto-occipital sulcus तक. Posteriorly और parieto-occipital sulcus is very well defined. इतने area को parietal lobe कहा जाता है. This is the medial side of the parietal lobe. This is the superolateral surface of the parietal lobe. Now your confusion about the pre-occipital notch. See, there is no easy way to understand this thing. When you will handle the specimen of brain in your hands, then only there will be a real realization about the pre-occipital notch. But as far as landmarks are considered, it is observed on the inferior margin. It is a notch produced by the petrous part of the temporal bone, and this notch is called as the pre-occipital notch. So, this is where you feel it. So, these are the parts of the occipital lobe. They will be considered later, but just to tell you about the pre-occipital notch, this is where you should be able to palpate this, and from there on the superolateral surface you will be imagining a line. Now, let us see the sulci and gyri on the parietal lobe. First of all, observe this. This is called as the interparietal sulcus. So, let us just discuss this. The lateral aspect of the parietal lobe is divided into three areas by post central and intraparietal sulcus. ये है post central sulcus और ये है interparietal sulcus. The post central sulcus is often divided into upper and the lower parts, It may or may not be a continuous sulcus. That is why it can be in upper and lower parts, or it can be a continuous sulcus. It is posterior and parallel to the central sulcus. Inferiorly, it ends above the posterior ramus of the lateral fissure. This is the posterior ramus of the lateral fissure, and just above it, it is going to end. The post-central gyrus, it is also called as the primary somatocentral cortex, somatosensory cortex, it lies between the central and the post-central sulci. This gyrus is one of the very important areas. Posterior to the post-central sulcus, now this entire area is divided into upper and lower part by an interparietal sulcus. So this is a very large sulcus which usually starts near the midpoint of the post-central sulcus and extends posterior inferiorly across the parietal lobe, dividing the latter into the superior and the inferior parietal lobules. So here you can observe this. Now this is a very simplified diagram. Obviously it will never be this simple, but yes, if when you observe this interparietal sulcus, the whole area is divided into two. So the superior parietal lobule lies between the superomedial margin of the hemisphere and the interparietal sulcus. This is continuous anteriorly with the post-central gyrus, makes sense, and upper end of the post-central sulcus. The inferior parietal lobule is below the interparietal sulcus, and behind the lower part of the post-central sulcus, it divides into three parts. Now we are talking about this region. The anterior part is called as supramarginal gyrus, which arches over the upturned end of lateral fissure. If this is the lateral fissure extending backwards and where you find its ending, you can always observe its ending by manipulating the brain tissue a bit. Near its ending, you will find the supramarginal gyrus. It is continuous anteriorly with the lower part of the post-central gyrus and posterior inferiorly with the superior temporal gyrus. The middle part of the inferior parietal lobule is called as the angular gyrus. And how do you locate it? Because it arches over the superior temporal sulcus. This is the superior temporal sulcus, and where it ends, you find the angular gyrus. So for supramarginal gyrus, you have to look at the end of the lateral fissure, and for the angular gyrus, you have to look at the ending of the superior temporal sulcus, and this is where you will find the angular gyrus. And the posterior most part of the parietal lobule, it arches over the inferior temporal gyrus and it is continuous with the occipital lobe. So these two gyri can be very confusing. Just see a lot of pictures, you will be able to identify more and more. Like in this diagram that you can see, this is the ending of the sylvian fissure, and on top of that you have supramarginal gyrus, and where you see the superior temporal sulcus, on top of it you are able to see the angular gyrus. What are the sulci of the parietal lobe on the medial side? As far as you know that parieto-occipital fissure is the posterior boundary of the parietal lobe. It is the division between the occipital and the parietal lobe. So here you can see that behind the central sulcus is the posterior part of the paracentral lobule, and behind it these gyri are called as the precuneus area. Along with that you have the posterior parts of the cingulate gyrus. Next is the temporal lobe. The superior boundary of temporal lobe is very easily imaginable because it is inferior to the lateral sulcus, whatever you see inferior to the lateral sulcus. If you extend the lateral sulcus further and imagine our first imaginary line, that is how you define the boundaries of the temporal lobe as well. That is why this was not discussed first, because two imaginary lines are associated. So parieto-occipital fissure, to preoccipital notch, and extension of this sylvian fissure. So it is again limited by those arbitrary lines which are going to meet near the superior margin of the hemisphere, approximately 5 cm from its occipital lobe. This is the location of the preoccipital incisure. Its lateral surface is divided into three parallel lines by the superior and the inferior temporal sulci. This is the superior temporal sulcus, this is the inferior temporal sulcus, which divides this entire zone into superior, middle and inferior temporal gyrus. So it is not very difficult. आप में से काफ़ी लोगों ने मुझसे पूछा that remembering all this is very difficult, but आप कितने ही पार्ट्स में तो देख सकते हैं कि 2 सल्कस हैं और 3 एरियाज हैं. ये फ्रंटल में भी हुआ, यही टेम्पोरल में भी हुआ. द ओनली वे टू रिमेंबर दिस, अंडरस्टैंड दिस, इज टू लुक एट इट अगेन एंड अगेन. दैट विल हेल्प यू अ लॉट. So this is the lateral surface, as you can appreciate, and these are the sulci and the and the 3 gyri associated with it. Another diagram, another picture. So this is the sylvian fissure extending backward, and here you can appreciate this is the superior temporal gyrus, this is the middle temporal gyrus, and this is the inferior temporal gyrus. So all of them joining each other at the anterior end form the anterior temporal pole. And when you move these 2 ends apart, you are able to see the insular cortex. So before I move on to the discussion of insular cortex, you have to imagine something at this stage. I am pretty sure that you should be able to see in the demonstration. If you move these 2 ends apart, one thing should be clear to you. This is a 3-dimensional structure. So what you are seeing right now is sort of the lateral surface of it. So it ought to have a superior surface as well. And what would that superior surface be? It will be the floor of this area that we are calling the lateral fissure. Are you able to understand this or not? This is a fissure. This is frontal lobe and this one is temporal lobe. So the superior aspect of this gyrus, the superior temporal gyrus, must have got a superior aspect, right? So that is what? That is the floor of this area, this volume covered by this thin lateral fissure. ये जो जगह है जिसे आप lateral fissure कह रहे हैं, lateral fissure is a potential space. It's a space actually, but physical entities वहाँ क्या है? Physical entities है ये gyrus जो एक नीचे है और कुछ ऊपर हैं. तो इस गायरर का एक सुपीरियर सरफेस भी होगा. जब आप टेम्पोरल लोब को फ्रंटल लोब से अलग करने की कोशिश करते हैं, इसे खींच के अलग करने की कोशिश करते हैं, तो एक चीज तो आपको दिखती है जो मैंने आपको फोल्ड्स में समझाया था, इंसुलर लोब, वो अंदर है. उससे पहले आपको सुपीरियर सरफेस ऑफ द सुपीरियर टेम्पोरल गायरस भी दिखेगा. उसकी बात हो रही है अभी. So along its superior margin, the superior temporal gyrus is continuous with the gyri in the floor of the posterior ramus of the lateral sulcus. ये floor of the posterior ramus समझना ज़रूरी है. This floor of the posterior ramus of the lateral sulcus is nothing else but the superior aspect of the superior temporal gyrus. So there you will see some indentations. These vary in numbers and extend obliquely and anterolaterally from the circular sulcus around the insula as transverse temporal gyri of Heschel. बहुत सारी न्यू टर्म्स यहाँ आई. सबसे पहले तो ये सर्कुलर सल्कस क्या होता है, इसके लिए हमें कुछ स्लाइड्स पीछे जाना होगा. वैसे तो मैं पीछे से आगे भी जा सकती थी, मुझे लग रहा है. या आपको ये पार्ट याद है जब मैंने आपको कहा था कि 2 पार्ट्स को एक दूसरे से अलग कीजिए और आपको एक छुपा हुआ कॉर्टेक्स दिखेगा. सपोज I cut away all of this. I cut away all these curtains, all these opercula, और मुझे insular lobe साफ साफ दिखाई देगा. That cut edge is called as the circular sulcus. So the circular sulcus is nothing else but the boundary around the insular lobe. और इस डायग्राम में आप superior surface of the superior temporal gyrus भी देख सकते हैं. तो ये जगह अलग है, ये ग्रीन जगह अलग है, और सर्कुलर सल्कस जिसे बार बार कहा जा रहा है वो है इस ग्रीन एरिया की बाउंड्री. लेट्स मूव अहेड. सो अभी हम सिर्फ बात कर रहे हैं सुपीरियर सरफेस ऑफ द सुपीरियर टेम्पोरल गायरस की. अब इन इंडेंटेशंस की बात हो रही थी. सो दे विल स्टार्ट फ्रॉम द सर्कुलर सल्कस, यानी कि द एज ऑफ दिस इंसुला, as transverse temporal gyri of Heschel. ये है वो transverse temporal gyri of Heschel. टेम्पोरल वर्ड याद रखना है, ये टेम्पोरल लोब का पार्ट है, ये इंसुलर गायराई ऑफ हेशल नहीं है, ये टेम्पोरल गायराई ऑफ हेशल है. एंड the anterior transverse temporal gyrus and the adjoining part of the superior temporal gyrus they are all auditory in function. So ये gyri and the superior temporal gyrus ये सब auditory area हैं. Inferior surface पे you should be able to see that ये था inferior temporal gyrus turning onto the inferior surface. इसके बारे में आप जानते हैं. Occipito-temporal gyrus के बारे में भी आप जानते थे, एक medial था, एक lateral था. और इंफीरियर सरफेस पे था कोलैटरल सल्कस. थोड़ा सुपीरियरली मूव किए तो फिर आ गया आपका पैराहिपोकैम्पल गायरस, लिंगुअल गायरस एंड अंकस. सो अंकस, पैराहिपोकैम्पल गायरस, लिंगुअल गायरस, दिस इज द कोलैटरल सल्कस, दिस इज द लिंगुअल गायरस एंड दीज आर मीडियल एंड लेटरल ऑक्सीपिटोटेम्पोरल गायराई. ये है बीच में ऑक्सीपिटोटेम्पोरल सल्कस and this is the extent of inferior temporal gyrus. Then we come to the medial side of the temporal lobe. यहाँ तक देखिए inferior खत्म हो गई, ठीक है. अब medial side पर आते हैं. So this includes the major subdivisions of limbic system such as hippocampus and the entorhinal cortex. Entorhinal cortex मैंने आपको पहले भी समझाया था. It includes area in the anterior most part of the parahippocampal gyrus, includes some parts of hippocampus and some parts of uncus. So cortex word से confuse नहीं होना है. Areas of the neocortex adjacent to these limbic regions are called as medial temporal association cortex. Again, this term will be explained more to you in the further lectures of limbic system and functional areas. But yes, this whole thing is on the medial side of the temporal lobe. Lingual gyrus, बार बार इसकी डिस्कशन हो चुकी है. सो इट इज द मीडियल ऑक्सीपिटोटेम्पोरल गायरस, पहले आप इसकी बात कर चुके हैं, ऑफ द ऑक्सीपिटल लोब. ठीक है, ऑक्सीपिटल लोब में यहाँ पर आपने इसे स्टडी किया. इट लाइज बिटवीन द कैल्कराइन सल्कस एंड द पोस्टीरियर पार्ट ऑफ द कोलैटरल सल्कस. ये आपको कोलैटरल सल्कस याद होगा, ये आपको याद होगा कैल्कराइन सल्कस, ये कैल्कराइन सल्कस सॉरी है. सो और इनके बीच में ये है लिंगुअल गायरस. Behind it reaches the occipital pole. In front it is continued onto the tentorial surface of the temporal lobe and joins the parahippocampal gyrus. This is the parahippocampal gyrus, lingual gyrus, this is the occipital pole. Yes, now we come to the discussion of the insula. Let me pause this one.